At least it's over. The game that just about everybody thought should have featured the Saints is done. And in this town, let's face it, the Super Bowl wasn't super. You can't deny that what happened here at the Superdome 2 weeks ago robbed the Saints of their chance at glory. And for as long as Who Dat Nation has a memory, this season will have a big fat asterisk on it.
So what can we do about that no call? We've seen the billboards, the lawsuits, and the NFL try to explain the inexplicable. So today, instead of giving the satisfaction of their support, the black and gold faithful in ways big and small sent a message that the Who Dat Nation won't forget, and perhaps more importantly, won't quit. Our coverage of the game, the protests, and that lingering thought of what could have been begins with Kristen Pierce.
All week, we heard people talking about boycotting the Super Bowl. Well, today, they followed through on those plans. Thousands of people were out here today at the Boycott Bowl on Fulton Street. Right now, crews are packing up, but we're going to show you what it looked like earlier. Across the country, it's Super Bowl Sunday, but in New Orleans, it's Boycott Bowl.
I'm not watching it. I'm just not watching it because it wasn't fair.
And in case you were wondering, are you still mad?
Yeah.
Saints fans are still upset about that no call in the NFC Championship game. Today they took out their frustrations on a referee piñata, the NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, and pretty much the entire NFL.
Great idea because it did allow me to take frustration out and laugh and get it all out.
Hoorah, baby! And although Saints fans would rather be in Atlanta with the boys in black and gold, this is New Orleans and we do things differently.
It almost feels just like an overrun jazz fest and Mardi Gras combined into one.
I'm mad about the Saints no call. I think they shouldn't have called that flag, but we all have to get over it, you know.
We didn't see anything! No!
Thousands of people put on their Sunday's best, which is Saints gear, and headed to Fulton Street for Boycott Bowl. Mayor LaToya Cantrell and City Councilwoman Helena Moreno joined the party, and it was a huge party. In the end, some of Who Dat Nation ended up watching the game.
Yeah, you know. My friend's a Cowboys fan, so we had to watch football.
We were never going to boycott, but we're still robbed!
But the overall feeling in the Crescent City is NFL, nah. And Karen and Tana, I have to say, when we went to the Rusty Nail, we talked to people who said they are not going to watch the Super Bowl at all. But when we went back later on, the game was on and everyone was watching it. So it will be interesting to see how many people actually watch the Super Bowl. Reporting live at Ernst Cafe, Kristen Pierce, Eyewitness News.
And earlier today, thousands of Saints fans filled Jackson Square to boycott the Super Bowl. The so-called Blackout and Gold second line celebrated the Saints and their season.
And Saints fans buried this season with a mock funeral. Fans in uptown New Orleans threw their tickets into a coffin at Kingpin, then held a second line. There was also a similar funeral along the riverfront. And over on Magazine Street, people played Pin the Bribe on the Ref at Dat Dog. And on the lakefront, it was a car show showing the love for the Saints. The party seemed to cover the entire city. Never have been more proud to be a part of Who Dat Nation.
Yes.
On the North Shore, the Saints became a sermon illustration drawing some familiar parallels.
It included themes of love, reconciliation, and yes, even God's feelings about Roger Goodell. Paul Dudley brings us the story.
What the Saints mean to us really transcends sports.
If you ask Father Bill Miller at Christ Episcopal Church in Covington, he'll tell you, in our state, the Saints represent more than football.
The Saints represent some very powerful things: resurrection, rebirth, reconciliation, hope, healing, goodness.
This Who Dat Nation repping man of God will also tell you when the Saints got robbed by the refs 2 Sundays ago, it felt like someone punched him in the gut. He wasn't alone in this feeling.
I was in an airport in Austin, Texas, with all these New Orleanians flying back to New Orleans, and we were stunned. It was a completely silent Southwest flight.
This special service Sunday offered Saints prayer flags instead of penalty flags and Saints-themed songs. But But moreover, the no call is a teaching moment.
Anger, grief, depression, whatever they might be, it's really important for us to channel those and take the high road.
And in this house of worship, it's still all about love.
And I actually conclude my sermon by reminding them of the most inconceivable religious truth of all, that God loves Roger Goodell. Hard to believe, but it's true.
Jokes aside, it's advice to live by on a Saints Sunday, a Super Bowl Sunday, a regular Sunday, and how about just every day?
The only way forward and onward and upward is through love.
Paul Dudley, Eyewitness News.
And now this. Boston celebrating championship number 6. We've been watching these pictures since the game ended, and frankly, New Orleans seemed to have much more fun today.
You think the Super Bowl itself was not dynamic? It's boring.
No, it wasn't. The Patriots and the Rams combined for 1 touchdown, and obviously, New England came out and claimed its 6th Super Bowl title. Sports director Doug Mouton joins us now with more on that.
Yeah, look, you watch the pictures from around New Orleans today. And look, in Boston, they've won 6 of them, so it does get to be a little bit of this after a certain time. But yeah, if you picked this game to not watch, you picked the perfect Super Bowl to miss. The first half was just hard to watch, and then in the fourth quarter, New England did just enough to win their 3rd championship in the last 5 years. Tonight, we saw a whole lot of punting, and then that, Tom Brady to Rob Gronkowski. It set up the go-ahead touchdown. It was 10-3 Pats. Then Jared Goff with this terrible pass at a key time. Stephon Gilmore intercepts. New England got a clinching field goal. The Patriots win it 13-3.
I was not pleased at all with my feel for the flow of the game and kind of making some adjustments as the game unfolded and to giving ourselves a chance to have some success and put some points on the board. And, you know, credit to them, and they did a good job, and I certainly didn't do good enough for us.
It is incredible. Belichick and Brady now have 6 Super Bowl championship rings. And good news for the Saints today, the team is close to locking up a key assistant coach. We'll have that ahead in sports. Karen?
All right, Doug, thank you. Next year's Super Bowl is in Miami, and then in 5 years, the Super Bowl will be played right here in New Orleans at the Superdome. You can say it's a little foggy tonight, but our memories aren't. Who Dat Nation will never forget this season, but we will move on more determined than ever. But for now, with the season at an end, we want to say one last time, bless you, boys.